Over to you, Munish.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Namaskar. My name is Munish Chawla. I am the co-founder of Jeevitam, a livelihood platform. Welcome all for the 13th webinar series on reimagining college placement drive, Student Banega Atmanirbhar movement. We have been doing this webinars week after week, every week, and one of the reasons which is making us move forward every week with confidence, with strength, is the support which we are getting from you all. This is making us make this whole particular initiative much more bigger and much more wider. The initiative is all about reimagining college placement drive, wherein we are asking questions. We are asking 5 questions which are relevant in today's context. The questions are, in this uh, time frame when all the colleges are closed in the COVID time, and colleges are closed, the students are at home and corporates are not traveling. In that context, can college placement drive take place is the question which we are asking. Can it also happen in tier 2, tier 3 cities, because till now what we have been seeing college placement drives happening in all tier 1 cities, metros and all. So we said, why not college placement happen in those colleges where it has never happened? Why not it happened for BA, BCom, BSc students, diploma students? That is the question which we are asking. Why not, the first year, second year, third year students? Why it is only the final year students? Why not the first year, second year, third year students? Because they have immense opportunities of freelancing, part-time, internship, apprenticeship. There's so much going on for them. So they need to be work ready. And for that, why not for first year, second year, third year students? And why college placement has to happen only once in a month, once in a year? Why not, it keep happening month after month, every month on a given day, so that, all the students who have not got work, we are focusing on work, we are focusing on livelihood, we are focusing on jobs, we are focusing on entrepreneurship opportunities. So there is a lot of focus. These webinars are a way for us to not only discuss these opportunities and also look into way all students can help find livelihood, but we also introduce you to many aspects. We have introduced you to social entrepreneurship. We have introduced to last session we had talked about skill development and also the artificial intelligence. We have been focusing on various sectors. This webinar we are focusing on the financial services, the banking side, the NBFC side, the micro finance side, the fintech side. These are the things which we are going to focus on this webinar. We have ourselves, my friend and Chief Operating Officer for Bfsi Skill Council, Meghdut. He's so much of experience, so much of energy, so much he has done. So today we are going to have a conversation with him. We are going to talk about the opportunities in the financial services space. So just to give you a quick background about what is Jeevitam, for people there who have joined for the first time, Jeevitam is a tech-enabled livelihood platform providing work opportunities. We have around 1.5 crore work seekers on the platform. We have, reach in over 1,000 plus cities. We have over 200 profiles. We have in this crisis, we have shortlisted around a million odd student or a million odd people for work opportunities. We believe in collaboration. We work with Ministry of Labor, National Career Services is a part of this webinar series. So we are doing a lot of stuff. I think this is going to be another webinar. We are going to learn a lot of things. You are going to gain a lot of things. So over to you, KG.
Thank you. Let's start our video.
स्कूल की लाइन में लगे एक आंख बंद किए इधर उधर ताकते, इसका मतलब शायद मालूम ही नहीं था। कॉलेज की भीड़ में दोस्तों के साथ ठाके लगाते भी कामयाबी पानी तो थी, मगर हम होंगे कामयाब ये सोचने की ना जरूरत थी ना मौका। माँ की न सहारे के बीच हम होंगे कामयाब के मायने समझना थोड़ा मुश्किल था। हम होंगे कामयाब का असली मतलब तो तब समझ आया जब जिंदगी ने हाथ छुड़ाकर कहा, ये तुम्हारी लड़ाई है, सिर्फ तुम्हारी। लड़ो, गिरो, उठो, फिर लड़ो, फिर गिरो, फिर उठो, अगर उठ सको। लड़ने ने, गिरने ने और गिरकर उठने ने हिम्मत तो जगाई ही, साथ ही जगाया यकीन। और इस यकीन को हकीकत बनाने में आपके साथ है जीवतम।
अब परिवर्तन लाना है, लक्ष्य तो हमें पाना है, होंगे कामयाब एक दिन, हाँ होंगे कामयाब एक दिन, होंगे कामयाब एक दिन।
आइए मिलकर भारत को कामयाब बनाते हैं।
सरकार की सहायता रोजगार के साथ जोड़ करके नई इकाइयों के लिए सरकार अब योजना बनाएगी। देश में रोजगार के अवसर बढ़े, उस पर हम बल देना चाहते हैं।
होंगे कामयाब एक दिन।
A warm welcome to everybody who is watching this live webinar, one of the most interesting webinars of this current times, and from a person whom we know and will learn to know as he speaks. His vast expertise in the BFSI sector, which propelled him to become the head of the Special Initiatives BFSI sector in India, especially Skills Council of India. It's one of the large skill councils of this country, which is transforming the face of the BFSI sector in India as we propel ourselves to the $5 trillion economy that our country dreams of. And there can't be a better person than Mr. Meghdut, who will share with us the path and give clear guidance to our students across the nation on how to approach a life in this sector. He has spent 20 years post-qualification and experience. And if you look at his entire journey, let it be in JB Morgan, where he has spent in multiple roles, and especially in the training function where he built the entire system from scratch. Extensively involved in organizational development, which is critical for any industry, corporate and financial training, and campus recruitment in JP Morgan, and where he spent about 7 years. He has been a training manager with Almarai, a dairy manufacturing company. So sectors are never important. It is a context of how to best use sector for the specialization that you have. A very key part of Meghdut's life has been the book he has written, Dronacharya at the Workplace. It's a collection of short stories integrating corporate situations and the Mahabharata. He's an avid golfer, a sports enthusiast, and a regular blogger. So a person of this wide spectrum of life and career, leading one of the most critical sectors in this country in terms of skilling council, BFSI. Welcome, Meghdut, and let's spend the next hour helping our students find their way in the midst of the maze of COVID-19. And you will do a terrific job, I'm sure. And having spoken to you over the days, I am completely confident that when we come out of this session, students will have a clear path ahead, what to do and how to face the challenges ahead. So over to you, and before you take off, just give us a brief idea and overview on the BFSI industry.
Thank you, Mohan. Thank you, Munish. First of all, I'm very happy to be part of this exercise where you're, getting people employment, helping them become Atmanirbhar. And my real salute and respect to both of you and entire Jeevitam team for doing this. We need more people like you to take this whole thing ahead. There is one line in the video which I saw, which really hit me, and I would like to put this forward for the entire audience. That please remember this. This is the most important line. ये हमारी लड़ाई है, सिर्फ हमारी. Please note that. I'll come back to that later during the discussion as to why this line is extremely important. Coming back to the BFSI sector, BFSI stands for Banking, Financial Services and Insurance. It's one of the fastest growing sectors in the country. It's also one of the oldest sectors in the country. It covers banks, public sector banks, private sector banks, your nationalized banks, payments banks, small finance banks, cooperative banks, etc. It covers insurance companies. The big daddy of them all, LIC, New India Assurance, and then the private insurance companies, ICICI Prudential, ICICI Lombard, HDFC Life, Star Health, etc., etc. So you have life insurance companies, you have general insurance companies, which are there. The bigger sector, which is, I won't say unorganized, but slightly fragmented or mostly distributed, is the NBFCs, or the non-banking financial companies. All the companies who are lending money, like say HDFC, you have your L&T Finance, you have your Aditya Birla Home Finance, other home finance companies, other finance companies, etc., which are there, who have a presence at the national level as well as the local level. And more importantly, the new sector, which is actually the fastest growing sector within the BFSI sector, which as a sector throws all logic out of the window, but is the fastest growing and the most profitable sector in the entire BFSI piece, which is the microfinance piece. And microfinance is the fastest growing sector. All big banks are now moving or turning into microfinance, because that's a place where lending is available, credit is good, NPAs are very, very low, and returns are high. So that's another sector which is there. And over and above that, you have accounting, taxation, GST, etc., etc. But largely, I will say these are the 4 or 5 sectors, which is the banks, insurance companies, NBFCs, microfinance companies. Of course, there's a whole outsourcing piece which is there. So in case you don't know, there are at least, and I'm not joking, there are at least 100,000 people in this country who work for back offices of foreign banks in this country. One minimum 100,000 people, and I think I'm understating the number which is there. So those are also opportunities you can look at from a BFSI sector perspective. Mohan, does this make sense?
I think absolute sense. I think absolute sense. I think what is quite interesting is that when we talk about how this nation got built, IT never existed. BFSI built. If anyone talks about Mumbai, it is called the finance capital of India. And today, because of technology, the capital is dispersed across the entire nation. And it is so interesting that what could be done only in state capitals at the best, today the entire journey of livelihood opportunities has moved down to tier 2 and tier 3 towns too. For example, if an ICICI direct person wants to get into sales, and you will talk about more about the sales opportunities in our midst, you will automatically agree that there can be a person selling insurance in the backwaters of the country. We need not be sitting here in Mumbai or Bangalore or Delhi doing that, because the population lies there. So over to you, Munish, for your next question, which is going to tickle Mr. Meghdud's brain.
See, Meghdud, this was one of the webinars I was looking forward for. Being a banker, speaking to an ex-banker, being an ex-banker, speaking to an ex-banker. So, I was, before this crisis, had I gone to compliance and legal and told them, I want to work from home, okay? Or should we work from home? He would have told me, are you mad? Okay. And as rightly told by KG, I have all my senior friends, in the industry, they are all working from home. They are all working. They go to bank whenever it is required, except for the branch level staff. Everyone is working from home. So this work from home actually has dispersed the, the financial capital Bombay sort of a thing, also myth which is there. How are you seeing, the new normal coming up, shaping up in the today's context, which is very relevant for the all the participants over here, especially because students are from tier 2, tier 3 cities are there. What is the opportunities now emerging, since this is a dispersed scenario coming in? Distributed workforce is what I call. So over to you, Megdut.
So, Manish, first of all, let me disperse the myth that Mumbai is the financial capital. Yes, Mumbai is a financial capital. There is a lot of money in Mumbai. A lot of financial institutions are there in Mumbai. But does it employ a substantial part of the financial staff? The answer is no. So, whether it is post-COVID or whether it is pre-COVID or this during COVID, the financial services industry is spread all across the country. Forget tier 2, tier 3, I'll go ahead and say tier 7, tier 8, even villages, etc. And that's where the whole microfinance piece comes into the picture. That's where the whole Nbfcs come into the picture. Today, we have requests from companies who say, ki mujhe, I need somebody in Nandurbar. I need somebody in, maybe even Patiala is a larger town, maybe in Khanna in Punjab. I need somebody in a Ganjam in Orissa. I need somebody in a Tirunelveli in Tamil Nadu. I hope Tirunelveli is in Tamil Nadu. No? So, while the requirement is definitely there in the main tier 1, tier 2 cities, there are also requirements in the smaller cities. And that is a place where opportunities are there. But the sad part is we as corporates, interactions with corporates are not able to source the right kind of people or source people, etc. And let me tell you one more interesting thing. Okay, everybody thinks that only if I have done commerce will I be able to get a job in a bank. A lot of students think that. But a banker says, I need a graduate. He can be a geography graduate or a chemistry graduate or an engineer or a banker, doesn't matter, or a commerce graduate, doesn't matter. So what I'm saying here, Manish, is the field is open for jobs across the country, irrespective of your educational qualification. You might be a BA in Hindi, but if you have the necessary skill sets, you might be, you will be welcome in banks. They will not reject you if you're a BA in Hindi, saying that you don't have the domain knowledge. Domain knowledge, they will teach you. And of course, there are other alternatives which are available. So opportunities are available absolutely across the country, across multiple cities, including tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, whatever the city you want to talk about.
I think this is all music to my ears, before KG pitch in the second question, I have a rejoinder to this question, I think this is all music for students, who are looking at opportunities in today's context and near their homes only, because parents are not allowing students to now go to other cities because COVID fear still remains, So my question to you is, because this is fun, this is commerce, this is finance, is this opportunity, which is available across the country, only available for students who are from BCom side, from accounting and finance background, or it is also open for BA, BCom, BA, BSc, or even, BTech, or all those students? That is one. And parallel to this question is also, do they require any, if they are from BA, BSc, BTech backgrounds, or diploma holders, or even they are 12th class pass, are there opportunities or any skill sets they have to take it forward?
Thank you very much for this question. There are two parts to this question. First is, are opportunities available everywhere? Yes, they are available everywhere. Let me give you an example. I talked about microfinance being the fastest growing sector. However, microfinance as a sector has some interesting challenges. In microfinance, they are very clear that in microfinance, you are posted in and around villages, or maybe in a district place where you have a network of villages to cover. So there is nowhere, we are not even talking about tier 1 or tier 2 cities. We're talking about tier 7, tier 8 cities. There is one condition in microfinance where they say that we will place you minimum 50 kilometers away from your home district, or 50 kilometers from your home place. Now you'll say, obviously, if you're placing me 50 kilometers away from my home place, तो फिर मैं रोज आना जाना कैसे करूंगा? How will I stay? I'm going to talk about semi-urban or rural areas. So they have this concept called niche dukaan upar makan. So where they have the office on the ground floor, and on the first floor, on the above that, they have dormitories where 8-10 of them stay together, cook together, and this is given by the company itself. Of course, you need to spend your own money to buy your food and buy your groceries and cook food, but the accommodation is given by the company itself. So first of all, Munish, your question is, yes, parents are not happy, parents are concerned about having their people leave their homes. This concern is not now. This concern was, maybe it's been a little more in COVID, but it was there earlier also. It happened with me. My father was transferred to Nagpur from Bombay. I moved to do my articleship in Nagpur, and 2 years later, I decided that I can't have a career in Nagpur. I have to have it in Bombay. So I left my family against their wishes and came down to Bombay and struggled and did it. Now I come back to the sentence that I said in the video. ये हमारी लड़ाई है. ये आप लोग ध्यान रखिए. ये हमारे पिताजी की लड़ाई नहीं है, हमारे माताजी की लड़ाई नहीं है. ये हमारी लड़ाई है. मैं बहुत बार लोगों को कहता हूँ, I tell a lot of people, you know, there is a difference between listening to your parents and respecting your parents. You know, you may respect your parents, you should respect your parents, but you may not necessarily listen to your parents. And why is that? Because things have changed, the geography has changed, the economy has changed, the opportunities are completely different today. And so therefore, you can respect your parents, but carve out your own career path yourself. Coming back to Munish, your second question, in terms of our opportunities available for non-commerce, yes, 100% opportunities are available for non-commerce. Industry looks at graduates. It can be any graduate. Be Hindi graduate bhi chalega, history graduate bhi chalega. Coming back to what are the skill sets, there are two kinds of skill sets which are available. One is a domain knowledge, and second is skills. And this is important here. What skills do you require? You require basically 2 or 3 skills. First, an ability to converse with people, ability to talk to people, and ability to sell your product to people. You know? And why am I saying this is an important skill? Because as Indians, bachpan se, we are not taught this skill. Bachpan se hame bataya hai, don't talk to strangers. We are told, don't talk to new people. Paraya aadmi se baat mat karo. Now, when that comes in, especially ladkiyon ko, when that comes into the picture, हम किसी से बात करने के लिए झिझकते हैं. We are concerned. We don't go and talk to people easily. So that is one important skill. If you are social, if you can talk to people, engage in a conversation, then obviously the next step is understanding their needs and then getting selling skills, which is there. Domain to sikha denge. Domain companies bhi training de dengi, and there are small courses also which are available which will teach you the domain. They largely look for skills and attitude to go ahead with this. So coming back, these are the 2 skills which I say in terms of social skills, ability to talk to people, have a conversation with people, go and sell. I will clear one misconception here. It's not necessary that you need to be able to talk in English. You have to have an ability to talk in any language with people. If you are in Odisha, you need to be able to speak Odia. If you speak English in microfinance and go to a village in Odisha in Ganjam, you are a failure. You need to be able to speak Odia in Odisha. So, Munish, does that answer some parts of your question?
I think it definitely did. I'm enjoying my conversation, I should tell you very clearly. Because, these are very simple things. ये हमारे myths हैं हमारे दिमाग में. हम अपने आप ही खुद ही क्वेश्चन क्रिएट करते हैं, खुद ही आंसर. बैंकिंग में मैं कॉमर्स स्टूडेंट नहीं हूँ, how can I become a banker? we have seen science graduates, we have seen, what is you rightly said is an aptitude and attitude to become a banker or into the financial services. KG, over to you for your next question.
I think well said. I think Megdut is getting it. The system is getting so warmed up. There are already 4 questions piled up. And I'm again requesting all those participating, if you want to know about a sector, you need to ask experts. You can't go to Google and start searching for it. You need people who have been there in the thick of things, mitti ke jude hue with the sector, and people like Megdut are the ones who are there in the midst of the fire. And a soldier is the best man to tell you how to fight a war because he knows the territory the best. So please keep asking questions, and that's the only way students will learn from this entire experience of webinars. So Megdut, coming back to you, there are 2 questions. I will pose a question and also help you answer a question of Hema, who has asked a question. So one is that, can you just give us some idea of what are the kinds of jobs and where are they located for the BFSI sector? And number 2, a very gender-specific question Hema has asked. Do you think men have an advantage in this sector, or are they specifically looked out for, or can women also play a role?
Very interesting. Actually, men have a disadvantage in the BFSI sector. If you look at the top wealth managers in the country, a lot of them, they prefer women who are there. And the reason is women have a natural ability to converse with people. They have a huge amount of empathy. वो लोगों की परेशानी समझ सकते हैं, वो लोगों से बातें निकलवा सकते हैं. So if you are a relationship manager, if you are a wealth manager, as a woman, that's what you are there. Even if I talk about microfinance, what does microfinance do? A microfinance company goes to villages, set up groups of self-help groups of women, and ensures that there is joint lending which is there. Let me take a minute and explain this. Okay. Normally, हमें जब loan चाहिए, what we do? We go to a bank and say, I want to buy a 2-wheeler, I want to buy a car, I need a loan. So the bank is lending to me, Megdut Karnik. But in microfinance, what happens? A group of women, a community is formed together, and the community together gets a loan. And then there is a leader of the community, small leader, and that leader distributes the loan among the rest of the women. Now you tell me, if I have to go and form a group of women in a village in rural India, does a male have an advantage or does a female have an advantage? I will not answer this question. I will leave it up to you. No, हमारे देश में वैसे भी औरतें आसानी से बात नहीं करती. I will give an example from my life, and this is in JP Morgan in Mumbai. Some 10 years ago, I joined the organization. My first day at work, I went to work and I was sitting, और मेरे सामने there was a girl who was sitting. Okay, सुबह 9:30 बजे. Now I just said to her, "Good morning, hi, my name is Megdut Karnik." Her response was, "Have we met before?" I said, "No, we haven't met, but given that I have joined the organization and I'm going to be sitting next to you for the rest of my career, it's important that we need to know each other." So city में औरतें, लड़कियां एजुकेटेड इन मुंबई लड़कों से बात नहीं करती, तो गांव में जब आप माइक्रो फाइनेंस के लिए जाओगे या इंश्योरेंस के लिए जाओगे या ट्रैक्टर लोन के लिए जाओगे या किसी भी चीज के लिए जाओगे, तो किससे बात करेंगे लेडीज आपके लिए? लड़कियों से बात करेगी या लड़कों से बात करेगी? राइट. So coming back, that's one aspect. Second aspect, in the entire BFSI sector, at the junior levels or at the mid management levels, till mid management levels, there are equal number of men and equal number of women. It's only at senior management levels that the ratio gets skewed in towards men, and there are multiple reasons for that. I will not get into it. So as an entry, there is no barrier whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're a boy or a girl, which makes it there. Coming back, what are the kinds of jobs that are available? So as I said, microfinance is one job where you have to go form groups of people and give them loans. Second, there is a huge opportunity for people to get employed with, say, housing finance or NBFCs who want to give loans, be a tractor loan, be it a two-wheeler loan in the small areas. So sales or selling of loans is a very important job. Third is obviously insurance is there. We are as a country, we have only 2.5% penetration in insurance. What it means is only 2.5% of the population has some form of insurance or the other. And we are not talking about adequate insurance. We are talking about just a basic amount of insurance. So obviously, you need a lot more of people to go ahead and talk and sell insurance as such. So insurance selling is a very important thing. Mutual funds. Mutual fund distribution is another entrepreneurial opportunity. A lot of our savings are in fixed deposits, which give a very negative rate of return. But if you're convincing people to go and buy mutual funds, that can be a good lifetime income and entrepreneurial opportunity for you. I will add a few more. I think with increasing compliance, you're going to have jobs in audit. You're going to have jobs in data processing. You're going to have jobs in analytics, which are there. But these three jobs which I talk about have, what shall I say, interesting philosophy. A lot of that work is getting automated because of technology. So institutions or organizations prefer that if anything can be automated, let me automate it, instead of employing a person to do it and have mistakes around there. But your field sales force can never be automated. And that is the one which meets the customer, generates the customer, builds relationship with the customer, and obviously sells the product and has a long-term relationship. So that's where most of the jobs are. Mohan, have I answered the question?
I think you answered perfectly. And let me tell you the interesting part today. There are about 6 people who have asked questions, of which 5 are women.
Wow.
We have got Hema, we have got Pragati, we have got Rekha, we have got Nidhi. So the vibrance of the gender neutrality of the sector is going to speak for itself. You talked about it, and I will bring those questions to you slowly to get them answered. And very questions which for us might look very simplistic, but for those who sit in the hinterland, they really aspire to hear the answers from a person who is expert, and they get convinced by that, and by their conviction they gain self-confidence. So over to you, Munish, to ask him the next of our tough questions for him.
I think, for me, this is becoming actually very interesting because, what we are talking about, you just touched upon, Meghdut, in your discussion about jobs. One of the things was entrepreneurial aspect, I, as a banker, I was basically into distribution. So I used to have a lot of financial advisors. We call them distributors, financial advisors. And believe me, they are a community which does not get its due, and they are doing a really good work, across the country. Okay. And, today, as an individual, you need to have some friends, you should have a lawyer as a friend, you should have a, doctor as a friend, you should have a police guy as a friend. But one of the things also, you should have a financial advisor as a friend. Am I right? Which is still there. So, is becoming, financial advisor, is becoming an entrepreneur, the thing, especially from the West side, I see there are a lot of financial advisors and everything. And more importantly, what sort of a money a financial advisor can earn, because gig is coming in, the gig is, you are able to be on your own, while you are providing employment, you are also become an employer also in the financial services. What exactly is a financial advisor as an entrepreneur, and what sort of a money is opportunities they can earn? Some light on that.
Right. Thank you very much. Munish, before I go into that question, let me add something here, which is, when I talked about don't listen to your parents. You respect them, but don't listen to your parents. For your parents, banking was a simple job. You go to a branch, sit in the branch, and come back home. Abhi banking वैसा नहीं रहा. हर बैंक वाले को, including a teller in a bank, a cashier in a bank has a sales target. तो अगर किसी को भी लगता है कि ये BFSI जॉब है, मुझे AC ऑफिस में बैठ के करने को मिलेगा, ये प्लीज गलतफहमी है. Okay, you have to go into the field, into the street, meet people, you know, and that's where you will create your own networks, people, relationships, and customers. And remember, customers stay with a person. Customers never stay with a bank. I know this example. There was a student of mine. Munish, I'm coming to your question. It's just a feedback to that question.
It's very good. I'm loving it. Continue, please.
Yeah. So there was this student of mine earlier who was a wealth manager with, if I'm not wrong, HSBC. And I'm talking about 20 years ago. So he said, you know, sir, I have a job offer from some other bank where they say, आपका पूरा portfolio लेके आ जाओ, हम आपकी salary double करेंगे. So the customers whom he built, even though they were with HSBC, they were more with this person. Let's call him Orijit. They were with Orijit. तो Orijit के customer है, HSBC के customer नहीं है वो. And कई बार होता है कि जब relationship manager move होता है, वो customer को लेके move करता है. And this is very important in the gig economy, in the financial planning economy as such. I come back to this. One of my friends has written a book which says Papa don't preach. No, मतलब क्या कि पिताजी प्लीज बताइए मत हम पैसे कहाँ बचाएं और पैसे कहाँ सेव करें. और ये क्यों है? क्योंकि हमारे जो पिताजी हैं उनके वक्त जो सेविंग के एवेन्यूज थे, जो इन्वेस्टमेंट के एवेन्यू थे, फाइनेंशियल प्लानिंग था ही नहीं उनके वक्त. अभी पूरा आर्किटेक्चर चेंज हो चुका है. डिफरेंट इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स आर अवेलेबल, टैक्सेशन वाइज डिफरेंट थिंग्स आर अवेलेबल, एंड you need to have a lot of things which are there as such. So coming back, financial planner, who needs a financial planner? If you ask me, everybody needs a financial planner. And Munish, I will take the risk of maybe upsetting your wife, but I think your wife, my wife, Mohan's wife are all financially illiterate. Even though we are financially literate, but they are financially illiterate, and there are so many. We are financially illiterate because we are part of the industry. There are so many people who are engineers, who are doctors, who don't know a thing about finance. वो कहाँ इन्वेस्ट करते हैं? किसी ने बोला बैंक में एफडी रखो, बैंक में एफडी रख दी. पापा ने कोई LIC का एजेंट भेज दिया या इंश्योरेंस एजेंट भेज दिया, उसके साथ इंश्योरेंस करवा दिया. पर ये क्यों किया इंश्योरेंस? क्या ये सही पॉलिसी है? क्या ये इन्वेस्टमेंट सही है? नो, तो ये जो है पैसे का डॉक्टर जो हम कहते हैं, फाइनेंशियल एडवाइजर और वेल्थ मैनेजर इज नथिंग बट अ पैसे का डॉक्टर, जो आपको देखेगा और आपको बताएगा कि आपकी जिम्मेदारियां क्या है. What do you need? What do you want to save money for in life? If you want to save money, should you save money for life? You know, and that is where a financial advisor comes into the picture. And a financial advisor and independent entrepreneurial financial advisor, for him or her, a sky is open, because under the Insurance Institute of India and IRDA, he can become an agent of one life company, one non-life company, and one health insurance company. Now आप किसी भी फैमिली में जाइए, फैमिली में लाइफ इंश्योरेंस तो लगेगा ही, हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस लगेगा, और फैमिली के पास गाड़ी या टू व्हीलर तो होगी. So now what happens? One family, you are able to generate business, and this is not selling. This is a mandatory requirement. I know so many people, you know, we say life is uncertain, and it has been proved in COVID times that life is uncertain. No, मेरे जाने के बाद क्या मेरी फैमिली मैनेज कर पाएगी? और कई लोग तो भगवान भरोसे जीते हैं, पर उनके बाद उनकी फैमिली को बहुत तकलीफ होती है. Now, in order to manage this, that's your job as a financial advisor, as an agent, to educate them. You know, it's not a selling job, it's an education job. सेल तो अपने आप हो जाएगा. आप उनको एजुकेट करेंगे कि क्या रिस्क है, कैसे आप आपकी रिस्क कवर कर सकते हैं, कैसे हॉस्पिटल के एक्सपेंस से आप बच सकते हैं हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस लेके. टू व्हीलर, फोर व्हीलर का इंश्योरेंस तो मैंडेटरी है. तो ये सारे इंश्योरेंस है. Second is investing in mutual funds. You all would have seen equity markets have gone up. You would have seen them, they are at all-time highs as of today, and they have gone up by 40% since March. In March end, agar neither Munish and me, none of us would have even thought that markets would hit all-time highs in less than 6 months. And I'm sure if I had told that to Munish ने मुझे बोला होगा कि भाई क्या पी रहे हो, कहाँ से आएगा ये, होगा ही नहीं, कोविड की अनसर्टेनिटी में. Now, how many people have participated in this rally? Only few people have participated in this rally. Only few people have managed to increase their wealth by 30 to 40%. Now, it is your job as a financial advisor to get more and more people to invest and enter into this. Now, coming back, what are the commissions and what are the income opportunities? Income opportunities, firstly, are unlimited. I know a lot of insurance agents who employ people themselves. आप LIC के ऑफिस में जाओ, एक इंश्योरेंस एजेंट होगा, उसके नीचे 3 बंदे रहेंगे डॉक्यूमेंट कलेक्शन के लिए. So you can be not an individual but an employer yourself. Commissions in insurance are very attractive. In mutual funds, you don't have great commissions, but you have a concept what is called as trail commission. अगर आपने पैसे बचाए आपके क्लाइंट ने और साल भर बाद निकाले नहीं, वैसे के वैसे रख दिए, तो फिर उसके ऊपर because the client has kept that money for 1 year, आपको 1% of that month of that income of that money आपको कमीशन के हिसाब से मिलता है. This is approximately I'm telling you. So your opportunity to earn is very, very huge. I know people who keep money in cooperative banks. Cooperative banks कभी भी बंद हो सकती है. अभी latest Lakshmi Vilas Bank, we have seen that. We don't want our money stuck, right? And there's no point keeping all the eggs in one basket. So it is important as a financial advisor, you are a doctor for different people and telling them how to manage their money. And I think that is very, very important. Manish, have I answered your question?
I think yes, very much you have answered it out. See, मेरा ये मानना है, if you are working in a small town and you are looking for work around, becoming a financial advisor is a good opportunity to make money. The money can be as high as 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees a month to 5,000, 10,000 rupees a month. It could anyway the kind of work you do. So
just to add,
yeah.
The interesting part is to become an insurance agent, you need to be 12th pass, and in rural areas, you need to be 10th pass. So I know we have a lot of first year students, second year students who are there. A lot of them can take this as a part-time activity while they are working, while they are studying.
I think this is something very good you have told me. I want you to elaborate on it, further, because आज क्या है, मेरी family मेरा ATM, okay है, right? That is the concept which we have. Why can't these students, who are in first year, second year, third year, can they also become insurance? Can they not only insurance, financial advisors is what I call. आपने एक बहुत अच्छी term use की है, पैसे का डॉक्टर, okay, which is there. Health का डॉक्टर तो सुना था, आज आपसे मैंने पैसे का डॉक्टर भी समझ लिया. तो अगर हम ये पैसे के डॉक्टर्स अगर हैं, तो क्या फर्स्ट ईयर का स्टूडेंट, सेकंड ईयर का स्टूडेंट, थर्ड ईयर का स्टूडेंट पैसे का डॉक्टर बन सकता है? इज इट अलाउड लीगली? इज इट अवेलेबल फॉर देम? एंड इफ मेरे को बनना है तो मुझे करना क्या है?
Absolutely. So first of all, legally बिल्कुल बन सकता है, because under the IRDA regulations, any 12th pass candidate can become an insurance agent. उसको IIII की एग्जाम पास करनी होती है, which is not to use. You have to read the books. हम ट्रेनिंग भी देते हैं, हम आपको ट्रेन भी कर सकते हैं और वो पास भी करवा सकते हैं. But becoming an agent is the easiest part, is not the difficult part. The difficult part is getting business and sustaining business after that. Okay, so you will have to go and talk to your family, your friends, talk to them about a policy which you can improve your network, increase your network, and you can very, very easily earn your pocket money as well as give some pocket money back to your parents, saying that, ये मेरे आगे की पढ़ाई के लिए आप बचा के रखिए. And interesting part is, an insurance policy is sold for 20 years. एक साल की पॉलिसी नहीं होती है. हाँ, हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस की 1 साल की पॉलिसी होती है, पर ये रिन्यू करना आप एज एन एजेंट की जिम्मेदारी है, क्योंकि आप रिन्यू नहीं करवाओगे तो क्लाइंट का पैसा वेस्ट चला जाएगा. So coming back, there are insurance companies who are looking out for agents across the country which are there. If you anybody says कि हाँ मुझे एजेंट बनना है, तो it is the easiest part. I just have to connect you to any insurance company. वो दौड़ के आपको आके आपको एजेंट बनवा देंगे, आपकी एग्जाम भी पास करवा देंगे, हम आपको ट्रेनिंग भी दे सकते हैं एग्जाम पास करवाने के लिए. बट एज आई सेड, इसके बाद मेहनत आपको करनी है. रूरल एरिया में 10th pass is the minimum qualification to become an agent. Okay? For becoming a mutual fund agent or becoming an NISM 5 series, you need to be a graduate. But that doesn't stop you from advising people on how to invest their money, right? हम आपको उनके पैसे लेके इन्वेस्ट नहीं करना है, आप उनको बताना है, एजुकेट करना है कहाँ इन्वेस्ट करना है पैसे, राइट? सो दैट उसके लिए आप पढ़ाई करो, आप सीखो और आप लोगों को सिखाओ, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है.
Very good. I think KJ sir, over to you.
Yes, I great. So I think Munish, what I would suggest now is that we have a whole bunch of questions people have asked. We are going to now stop our questions, except one last question I want to ask Mr. Meghdud. And this comes from the same story you talked about. And believe me, during my childhood, when I went to a bank with my father, the banker and the customer were always great friends. They would share stories about their lives. They would share stories about standing in the queue meant talking to the teller or somebody and sharing notes. The first time this happened to me after those childhood days was when demonetization happened and we were standing in the queue again. And the banker became a friend, a very close friend, because he used to help me. My gray hair, though I was not in the senior citizen category, he would look at my hair and say, why don't you come and stand in the senior citizen queue? That's how friendships began. And when I went to exchange notes, at one point of time, my son had just become a major. So a bank account had to be opened. And as you rightly said, the teller's job is not just counting money and issuing money. He said, I'll open a bank account for you. And by evening 5 p.m., he did that for us. So that's what's happening. So tell us something about this skill. The skill of selling is so very important in our lives. Talk to us about the Bfsi sector, how selling is done. And also share, I believe you have a story about your own life when you're suddenly made to sell something and you're put on a spot. Talk to us about that. And after that, we will go to the questions of the audience.
So I have this very interesting story. I was a training manager with Tata AIG Life Insurance, and HSBC was opening a new branch in Indore, and Tata AIG products were being sold through HSBC. तो मुझे इंदौर भेजा गया और बोला कि जाओ और ब्रांच के सब लोगों को टाटा एजी के प्रोडक्ट्स के बारे में सिखाओ. So I went there. The moment I went there and moment I stood there, the branch manager said, "Who are you?" I said, "What do you mean, who are you?" He said, "Why should I allow you to train my people? तुम्हें क्या आता है?" I said, "मैं ट्रेनर हूँ, टाटा एजी ने भेजा है." He said, "नहीं, आप पहले आपका जो मेन प्रोडक्ट है मुझे आप बेच के दिखाओ सबके सामने, और वो प्रोडक्ट आप अगर मैं बिक गया, then I will allow you to do the training which is there." So I was put in a spot and I had no choice. वहां तुम जाके बोल नहीं सकते कि बॉस को बुलाओ, ये मेरा काम नहीं है, ये मैं कर नहीं सकता, you know, that kind of things. So that's a very interesting story which I had, and I had to do it. There was absolutely no choice which I had. Coming back to sales, why is sales difficult, or why do we think sales is difficult? Because when I go to sell something, whichever is the product, right? Be it a pencil, be it a financial product, be it a soap, be it anything, I always have a fear कि सामने वाला मुझे ना बोलेगा. और ये सही है, this fear is correct. And the reason is, why do we have this fear? Is from childhood. I have parents have never said no to us. तो हमें कभी ना ना सुनने की आदत ही नहीं है. तो अगर मुझे सामने वाले से ना सुनाई दिया तो मेरा अपमान हो जाता है. I get insulted, and which is why a lot of people shy away from doing sales. However, the most important part, and Munish will agree to this, as you grow senior in the organization, The only skill you need is a sales skill. When you go for an interview, what are you doing? You're doing nothing but selling your candidature. When you are presenting a project to your seniors, what are you doing? You are selling your idea to different people, even if it is within an organization. So it is very important to learn the selling skills. And how do you learn the selling skills? ये कोई मंत्र नहीं है जो उसको बैठ के सिखाया जाएगा. ये आपको फील्ड में जाना है, काम करना है, लोगों से पूछना है, लोग ना बोलेंगे, देन यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट कि कैसे मैं उसको हाँ करवाऊं ना को, कैसे उससे 2 मिनट बात करवाऊं मैं उससे. नो, आई गिव यू अ सिंपल एग्जांपल. A lot of people are gathering data in malls for Club Mahindra or Countryside or something like that. वो क्या बोलते हैं? सर आपके लिए फ्री वेकेशन है. The moment they say there is a free vacation, you are willing to give your data. They don't say, sir, can you please give me your data? So those skills, those techniques have to be learned, have to be practiced, which is there. And to me, whichever field you are in, the biggest or the major skill that you need in the long run is a selling skill. The ability to sell your idea, yourself, your product, your candidature, whichever way is there, is the most important. If you don't learn it at this age, when you are 20, 21, it will be very difficult to learn it when you are 40, when you need it the most. Now, doing selling in the real world, gets you to know people, gets you to understand various people, interact with various people, and creates your network. I think there is no bigger skill than selling, which is there. No more important skill than selling there. आप सोचिए, डॉक्टर भी तो सेल करता है अपने आप को. आप पहली बार डॉक्टर के पास जाओगे, पर अगर डॉक्टर आपसे प्यार से बात नहीं करेगा, उसके दवाई पे असर नहीं होगा, आपसे बराबर पूछताछ नहीं करेगा. डॉक्टर भी तो बातचीत करता है आपसे, वो आपसे पूछता है ना आपको क्या तकलीफ है. Similarly, as a selling, you have to also ask people, sir, can I do this? Can I do that? So, be it any profession, selling is the most important skill.
That's great. So let's just move to some questions from the audience, and there are about 11 questions. I'll try to plug them. Some you have answered, but many of them are very interesting. One question that comes up is that, is it better to go for higher studies or gain experience in this sector? What would you recommend?
Okay, very good question.
Pragati has asked this. Pragati Manohar asked this.
Yes, Pragati, very good question. See, both are important. Okay, a lot of people, when they do their higher studies, they put in 1 or 2 years of work experience before they go for higher studies. The idea is, when you have work experience on the ground, the value that you get from a higher education is much more than when you go as a fresh person without any practical understanding or practical knowledge as such. Whether to go for higher studies depends on 3 or 4 things. First is, what's your economic condition, whether you can afford it, afford the exam, afford the course, whether you need to earn income for your family, all those things. But over and above that, as I said, if you work for 2 years, as we say, become Atmanirbhar. A lot of people I know who are engineers or who are others who take up a job, do 2 years work, save some money, so they have the pride that they have contributed to their higher studies themselves, some part of it. So that's what I will recommend.
Great. Because the good news is that I think 85% of the audience actually want you to continue answering questions in the next 15 minutes. So I'll also request you to help us.
Not a problem. Always there to help students.
Nidhi asked a question.
Very rarely we get this sort of a thing. I think this is interesting session. So thank you to all for extending, and thank you, Meghdut, for giving us more time. Over to you, KG.
Right. So Nidhi asked a very interesting question. Why is it so difficult for a woman entrepreneur to get a loan for her business, especially a married woman who needs guidance of her husband? So what was your insight in that?
Very interesting. So first of all, if Nidhi has asked this question, I'm sure there is merit in this question, which is there. A married woman who needs guidance of her husband, that's more a factor of our society and the way we are built in as such, and which is why a lot of women are financially not savvy, and men are only savvy. Men think they know money. The fact is, even they don't know money. Only some people know money as such. Actually, women know more about money because they manage their household expenses. But coming back, why is it so that a woman entrepreneur is difficult to get a loan for their business? There are multiple schemes which are specifically for women entrepreneurs which are there in nationalized banks. If you're able to tap those schemes, there is no dearth of such schemes as such. I'm sure you'll be able to get them. But otherwise, it's only a mindset issue. There's nothing else around it. But I will respect your question. Maybe there is some issues from where you come from at that locality.
Great. And here's a question bang on for you, the right man who has the Skilling Council for Bfsi. What are the courses that are available for people who want to get upskilled? And where do they go and find this?
Okay. So very good question. So you have, so let me talk about our qualification packs. We focus on, as a BFSI SSC, we focus on entry-level jobs because that's where the bigger need is. So we have a qualification pack called banking front office or banking correspondent as such. We have a course called insurance agent, mutual fund agent, loan processing officer. The Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana is going to get launched 3.0 very soon. Once that gets launched, it will be available in your districts as such. And through there, the PMKUI center is where you can go and check. Now, what I will suggest you is go to the NSDC website, nsdcindia.org. Let me type it here in the chat so that everybody gets it. No, I just hope I've typed it correctly. Yeah. So if I've put it in the chat so that everybody gets this website, go there, go and check different skills, go and check your district, go and check for a training center in there, and you'll find training centers and courses which are available for you there. Over and above that, you have the Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kalyan Yojana, which is there for rural India. So you can even go to the DDU-GKY website. I don't know, I don't have the exact website, but I will you just type DDU-GKY and you will find this, Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kalyan Yojana. So government is doing a lot of efforts to get people skilled, and we in turn are partnering with them to, what shall I say, get them placed. Over and above that, as an SSC, we will be shortly launching together with Munish, maybe a 1 week or 2 weeks course, upskilling course for all graduates, because I don't think today all graduates are ready. They will need to be sharpened on their softer skills, their interviewing skills, as well as their domain skills. Together with Jeevitam, as discussed, it's very much in the talks. We can maybe launch a small course at a very economical price, and being BFSI, it can be done virtually. So all of you can do the course, and we'll also help you on the placement around that. Does it make sense, sir?
It not only makes sense, it's music to the ears of the students. So Rekha has a question. I keep running behind time, so I keep posing you questions. And I have realized that no question ever goes away without an answer. And that's what's very interesting about this session. So Rekha's question is that she wants to know about the PO and SO grades in the IBPS and SBI exams, and also wants to know about RBI exams and what are the requirements for that.
So PO is, if I'm not wrong, PO is probationary officer. SO stands for, I'm not sure, there's some special officer or entry officer through IBPS, okay, in SBI. Thanks to you for this question. As a first step, I would like to make an announcement here. State Bank of India has yesterday released an advertisement for engaging apprentices. This is available for all graduates, and you can go to the SBI website and check this out. They want to engage 8,500 apprentices across the country, and this is across the country. These apprentices will not be full-time employees of SBI, but will be on a contract for a period of 3 years with a stipend which will be given to you. After 3 years, these candidates will have to relinquish their job. But I think if 3 years in SBI, that the experience that you get is extremely valuable. I'm sure you'll be able to get placed anywhere in any organization after that. So as a first step, I will always ask everybody who is interested in there to go and check that out. So apprenticeship in SBI, State Bank of India. We are working very closely with SBI to launch this as such. Coming back to probationary officers, okay. A probationary officer is a very good career, no doubt about it. Or even IBPS is a very good career. But what are the odds of you succeeding in an IBPS examination? हर साल कम से कम 50 लाख लोग IBPS की परीक्षा देते हैं. कितने लोग पास होते हैं? कितने लोग सिलेक्ट होते हैं? पास छोड़ो, 5000. What are the chances of you getting through? So while you should focus on IBPS, but that should never be your only game plan. You should have a plan B. You should have a plan C. IBPS देते रहो, साथ में दूसरा भी काम करते रहो, बाकी भी नौकरी ढूंढते रहो. IBPS cannot be something which you can rely on for life, be it PO or SO or in RBISS. The number of seats are very limited. The number of people applying for that is huge across the country. क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ mindset क्या है? Public sector bank मतलब अच्छी नौकरी, right? And which is why everybody wants to get into IBPS. Private sector bank खराब. This is not necessarily true. प्राइवेट सेक्टर में बहुत इंसेंटिव्स है, मेहनत है, पर इंसेंटिव्स भी है, सैलरी भी ज्यादा है, ग्रोथ है, all these things are there, no? So it's a very interesting story. But do you know that the salary of an SBI chairman, right, is what a MBA with 5 years experience gets in the private sector? And this is the truth. I am not joking, right? So you have to be clear about what you want. And I say, as IBPS should not be the only thing. It can be your aspiration, but should not be the only thing.
Great. I think as you answered this question, Meghdut, you actually answered Sapna's question also. She talked about how to apply for jobs in public sector banks and private sector banks. I think more than how to apply, it is where you should apply and not focus only one of them. So I think that's so two birds killed with one question at that point of time. So there's also a question that, see, do you really help people get into entrepreneurship? So they want to know that what skills are required to get into self-employment. And Lata is asking this question.
Definitely, we will help you get into entrepreneurship. Not a problem at all. One of the projects that we are doing currently is we are training using CSR funds. We are training people to become NISM 5A certified people. Of course, we will help you in entrepreneurship, but we cannot help you in getting your clients. Please note that. We will help you in passing the exam. We will help you in giving you the skills. पर आप बोलोगे मुझे स्किल दे दिया सर, कोई क्लाइंट नहीं मिल रहा है, ये हमारी जिम्मेदारी नहीं है. क्लाइंट आपको लोकली ढूंढना है, तो ये आपका काम है. So that's a differentiation in terms of helping in entrepreneurship and doing it myself. I go back to what is there in the video, the line I first said, which was there in your video. ये हमारी लड़ाई है. तो ये लड़ाई आपको इंडिविजुअली लड़नी है, हम आपको आपकी मदद कर सकते हैं.
Great point, Meghdut. And a very small point linked to what is being said is that do you also have a mechanism of connecting people who give jobs or livelihood to the students who have got skilled for the sector? So do you have any mechanism for that currently?
Yeah, so as a SSC, we are trying to create a job portal which will connect that. That is point number one. And we also talk with various employers and we get mandates for them. But then it's very hard work, which is there. And I'll tell you my experience. My experience has been, even if we are able to connect people, people don't report to jobs. People don't report for interviews. So as I'm saying to the student community, jobs की कमी नहीं है. जॉब करने वालों की कमी है. So we have a huge amount of people who are unemployed and there are a huge amount of jobs which are not getting filled. अगर आपको मेहनत कर सकते हो, मेहनत करने की इच्छा है, जॉब मिल जाएगा आपको.
That is very true. I think, and a large part of the audience comes from tier 2 and tier 3 towns. The need for employment or need for livelihood is extremely high. So hopefully the ratio of people who do not come for the jobs available is going to be very low compared to what happens in a tier 1 town. And that's how, and we are so thrilled that you are able to answer these questions from the hinterland of India, because they are the ones who are going to bring about this huge change we're looking forward to as in our economy. So thanks for all your answers, Meghu, but I will not stop because I have 2 or 3 questions more that you need to answer. And this is linked to your sales target question. And people say that they get scared when they are targets of sales. And that is why they take a step back. How do you think you should talk to these people and tell them that sales targets are just part of the game? Play the game the way you have to play and upskill yourself. I will look for an answer for this. How do you get away with the fear of sales targets?
Okay, so I will tell you 2 or 3 points here. First is a cheesy line, but my favorite line, डर के आगे जीत है. So, and of course, what Gabbar Singh says in Sholay, जो डर गया समझो मर गया. The moment you are scared of sales and the target, you're dead. Okay. The question is, we address the sales target कि अगर नहीं हुआ तो क्या होगा? Why can't we achieve it positively? When we say that, अगर ये हुआ तो मुझे इतना incentive मिलेगा. The idea, the sales target is very similar to your study target. Whenever you are studying, you have a certain target of X number of marks which you want to get at the end of the year in your examination, and you have a syllabus which you need to complete. How do you do that? You break it across in the entire year, saying that, this is what I will do. Now, organizations give a sales target, but they also give a sales process. So where they say that, okay, if you have to achieve your target, you have to meet 5 people a day, make 20 calls a day, and if you follow that process religiously, there is no way you will not be able to meet the target. Organizations have been built up on these sales targets. वो ऐसे नहीं है कि जैसे वीडियो की तरफ फेंक दिया बच्चे को, कुछ भी करो पर सेल्स लेके आओ, नहीं. They will say, okay, you have a sales target, this is what you need to do, but this is the process. ये डायरी है, ये लिस्ट ऑफ कस्टमर है, 50 लोगों को कॉल करो, 10 अपॉइंटमेंट लो, 5 लोगों को मिलके आओ, 3 लोगों को प्रोडक्ट बता के आओ, राइट? So there is a classic ratio of 100:1, where if you call 100 people, 20 will give you an appointment. You meet 20 people, 5 people will actually be interested in your organizations, are willing to look who are there to put in that effort to follow that process in a religious and a diligent manner. कि मैं इतने कॉल करूंगा, इतने लोगों से मिलूंगा, इतने लोगों को प्रोडक्ट पिच करूंगा. Now, if you are able to do that, then you will definitely meet your sales targets. You have to look at not target meet नहीं हुआ तो क्या, but you have to look at target meet हुआ तो मुझे कितना incentive मिलेगा. You have to look at it positively. और सब लोग कहते हैं ना motivation में be positive. This is the positive thing which you have to do.
Very true, very true. I think all those with blood group A positive will now go for transfusion to B positive, and that's what they require in this industry. One question that comes up here is that in these pandemic times, should one go for the Big Four kind of a job or a banking sector kind of a job? And is there any reason to choose between the two?
I'm sorry, Mohan, your voice broke. Can you repeat the question?
Is it advisable in these pandemic times to go for a big four kind of job or go for the banking sector?
See, both the sectors have their own positives and negatives. Big Four looks attractive, but Big Four is extremely difficult to work. A Big Four, you will start work at 9 in the morning, you will end at 12 in the night on a daily basis. And I'm not joking. Munish will vouch for that. I'm sure you must have seen and worked with people in the big fours. The pressures and the targets are very huge, which is there. If you want to become a banker, you should go into the banking sector. If you want to become a consultant, you should go into the big four. The question is, आपको क्या करना है? And what kind of stress, what kind of pressure you want to take? Pressure और stress दोनों jobs में है, सब में है, हर एक में अलग-अलग pressure है. What you want to do, there is nothing called as right or wrong. So I'll give you an example. When I was doing my articleship, we had the same question. Should I do my articleship as a to become a chartered accountant in a big four or in a small firm or in a medium-sized firm? And some of us went into the big four. Some of us went into the medium-sized firm or the small firm. The idea is we said, you know, हमें पढ़ाई करने के लिए भी time चाहिए so that we pass the CA examination. No, बाकी सब तो होता रहेगा. So it's all depends on what you want, what opportunities you get. Big four is good. It's a very individual decision, sir.
Great. I think that's a fact. I think what I will do is there are a few more questions which need to be answered, but I will get answers from you and send it out to them. That's possible by us. But there is one question which I want to come back to, and it is critical for the economy, especially though you have answered these questions in multiple ways. It is best to end this question, this entire webinar with this question, because it's a question from the heart and it has answers which are not direct, but are good enough from you to convince the person. The question is here, can a woman start a company with no support from their family?
Now you're really, this is one of the most difficult questions.
Which I kept for the last.
Right. Can a woman start a company with no support from her family? Why should a woman think differently? There are a lot of people, a lot of men who start companies with no support from their family. Why is a woman different? Why is a woman looking at approval from her family? If you have the right idea, if you have the right thoughts and you have conviction in yourself, nothing stops you from starting your own organization, your own company, whatever, without any support from your family. Now, see, there's two kinds of support from the family. One is financial support, second is emotional support. I think emotional support is required because if you don't get emotional support, there will be various people who will doubt and you will be doubting yourself continuously. Financial support to kahin se bhi mil jayega. But I think you need to have emotional support from, when I say family, it should be the people who matter. In India, our concept of family is very huge. Our concept of family includes third cousin, fourth uncle, and fifth aunt. You know, your family should include only those people who matter the most to you. And as long as they are convinced, you'll have 100 people coming to tell you to, saying why this is a bad idea. But the people who matter to you, they need to be convinced that you're on the right track, and then you can go ahead.
I think that's a well put answer. I asked this question because the person who asked the question, in fact, asked the question in anonymous mode. So the fear is extremely high, and the only way to dispel fear is to face fear upfront.
Right.
Look at the answers which are available, and also understand that nothing stops a person from succeeding except the person himself.
Absolutely true.
I think the person who asked the question has got the answer, and someday
I will give you a couple of examples here, and this is very important. When I was in JP Morgan, I had a chance to get associated with an NGO which was there on the Karnataka border, a place called Dharwad, Karnataka Maharashtra border. That NGO does a lot of great work. It picks up people from rural areas, financially weak people, does a finishing school from them, charges them money, even if they come from weak backgrounds, and places them with different corporates. And I have seen them succeed. I have seen so many examples of people who come from difficult backgrounds succeed. As a matter of fact, I think it's easier for people from difficult backgrounds to succeed than for you and me to succeed, Mohan.
Very, very true. And I think you're speaking about Deshpande Foundation.
Yes, absolutely.
Which actually runs this program and has done a terrific job in skilling and training people.
Yes.
And rightly you said, the fire in the belly lies in the heart, hinterland of India, tier 2, tier 3 cities. They are just raring to prove their point, and they will come out and do it. And we will see a lot of women leaders and men leaders starting entrepreneurships in these times, and these companies will grow. And we may not last. I may not last my lifetime to see them hit 100 years, but they will surely be on the path for doing that. So wonderful, wonderful listening to you, Big Truth. I think this session, I'll again repeat, the 13th session. 13 is supposed to be considered an unlucky number. For us, it has turned out to be the most lucky number, with the maximum questions ever asked in the history of the webinar on any given webinar. The maximum number of women asking questions, highest ever across the last 13 webinars, and the maximum answers given by a speaker in this format ever in our Jeevitam series. So Munish, I think over to you. Before we come to the slides of Jeevitam, I think we should speak and talk about. And thank you.
I think, see, I was myself being a banker, I was very keen on this webinar. And there are two reasons, Meghdud with his own on the ground experience, being a CEO of a skilling council, and with so much of depth of experience behind him. I think this was very, very interactive session, very informative session. My takeaways were, that yes, it is sales is something which is relationship. Sale is something which we do every day. We don't have, it's a process, which everyone has. Hard work, there is no, alternative to hard work, ये हमारी लड़ाई है, सिर्फ हमारी लड़ाई, which Meghdut really pointed out well. For me, this was a session which I was looking for. मेरा एक ही है ना, ये बैंकिंग फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज में, चाहे आप फ्रंट लाइन में हो, सेल्स में हो, चाहे बैक ऑफिस में हो, चाहे आप अपने गांव में हो, चाहे छोटे शहर में हो, चाहे वो बड़े शहर में हो, अपॉर्चुनिटीज हर जगह अवेलेबल हैं. हमें अपने आप को उसके लिए तैयार करना है. Meghdut's skill council is doing a phenomenal job. I think you should look into NSDC website, go and look into the BFSI council jobs which you are having over there. I think so that is, BFSI Skill Council is doing, in my opinion, a phenomenal job in creating the pool of talent for the industry. So all of you who are not from the, commerce domain, or who think they need skill set, I think BFSI Skill Council is to go to. We are going to partner with BFSI Skill Council in providing a lot of job opportunities across the country, which is there. So stay in touch with us, be together. We are here to make Student Atmanirbhar. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Munish. I think having said that, it's critical that we also share what we as Jeevitam do, and we would love to reach the colleges of the tier 2 and tier 3 towns and conduct the college placement drives there. The poll is going on now, as of now, asking people how many of them would like this to be done. And as of 90% of them have said that we would like Jeevitam to conduct college, digital college placements in their colleges, which is very heartening to see that. Moving on to social entrepreneurs, I think this entire journey of our mission of Student Banega Atmanirbhar can never be successful unless we have social entrepreneurs working along with us. It's a great opportunity for people. We have around 12 of them who are with us now across the nation. Compared to the previous slide, and here what we say is that it's a voluntary initiative. There's no salary, but what you will learn and what you will gain is through experience of being mentored by real senior industry experts who will help you in this entire endeavor. There's definitely a certificate end of the game, but I think as entrepreneurs, and Meghdut said, we don't run out of certificates, we run out of experience, we run out of skills, and we run after how to learn to build relationships. So if any one of you is interested, next slide, any one of you is interested in becoming a social entrepreneur with us, please write into us at university@jeevitam.in. In fact, in your chat box, you will find a Google form being shared. Please fill up the form and send it to us. You have plenty of time to do that. Copy and paste it into your own web page so that you can access it after this webinar. We are looking forward to increasing our social entrepreneur group from the current 12 to almost 100, because this requires a huge momentum to make people Atmanirbhar. Moving on to the head, we need to also tell you that there are about 40,000 plus jobs available and is going a-begging because information never reaches the last man. Now, what we would love you to do is that remember the number 40,000. Those jobs are real. 25,000 of them are ICICI direct jobs. In fact, they are sales jobs. In fact, there'll be a training program for you to get upskilled into that role. It is available pan-India. So you can be sitting in Bhiloda in Gujarat, Asansol in West Bengal, Kandakur in Andhra Pradesh, Tirunelveli in Tamil Nadu, Cochin in Kerala, and can still become a great entrepreneur in this ICICI Direct world. So my request is, next slide please. So my request is please spread the word around. Please inform those in your influence circle to call up this number. The number is one number, 21 languages, access to 40,000 plus jobs. 911141182656 in 21 languages. Call in, no data required, no internet required, just a single call in 21 languages leads you into a complete different world to become Atmanirbhar. The aim, as we know, is to stop students of any age to use their parents as ATM. We want our students who are capable to become independent and Atmanirbhar. Join us in this movement and make it happen. And this can be done, as Srishti will show you, through just one number. And over to you, Srishti. Thank you very much, Srishti. And Meghdoob, I just wish to thank you again on behalf of Jeevitam for one of the most invigorating and powerful sessions you've had so far. I will again end with what I talked when James Russell came from your own Skilling Council from the Rasi event. I'll tell you the same thing here is very important for everyone to know. Samaj, Sanstha, or Sarkar have to work together. You represent Sarkar for us, Jeevitam from us, the Sanstha, and the Samaj is watching us. If three of us can collaborate, this nation can not only jump leaps and bounds. Competition is not within, competition is outside in the world ahead, and we will win hands down. This nation has done that for 5,000 years. We just lost out for some time, but we are back in the game. And when we play the game, we always know the winners are going to be us, thanks to the way we build our future ahead together. So thanks a lot, Meghdoob. We appreciate the Skilling Council of India, especially the Bfsi sector that came into us through you. And thanks for making it a very interesting and interactive session. Unforgettable for me, at least, till a new session comes of this kind. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Meghdoob. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure speaking to everybody.
All the best.
Thank
Har
you.
student banega Atmanirbhar. That's the movement.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Jai Ho. Jai Ho.